You are Locked On Cougs, your daily podcast on the Houston Cougars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Second, but before we get to that, I do want to remind you that today's show is brought to you by our buddies over at Game Time. Game Time is this place to get last minute tickets, lowest prices. If you've ever decided last minute, let's go to that Astros game. Last minute, let's go to that Dynamo game. Last minute, hey, what are you doing tonight? I don't know. Let's go find out what's going on at baseball state, whatever the case may be, right? If it's game day, you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. It's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, invite a bigger group to come with you, grab a buddy's ticket. Game Time makes all of that possible. Game Time makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop the closer you get to first pitch, and they've got incredible last-minute deals, great seat views in the app, lowest price guarantee. You find the same row and section somewhere else, they'll credit you back 110% of the difference, so you don't have to worry about buying something else. Exclusive offer for FIFA Club World Cup matchups as well. If you're looking to get into some soccer action, take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code Locked On College, LCKEDONCOLLEGE, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. Park Rangers Locked On Coogs here. I just got this message sent to me about LJ Cryer. It said Exhibit 10 deal soon enough to be an Exhibit A, why you shouldn't pass on U of H royalty, from Jonathan Hernan. Shout out to Jonathan, listener to the show for that. But on to the Big 12 and the Big 12 and PayPal. It was announced this week that the Big 12 and the Big 10 conferences have struck a deal with PayPal and Venmo being the same company, partnering and working with a revenue share model. Now, the found study that over half, they found in the study, Brett Yormark has said, that over half of NCAA athletes already used Venmo on a regular daily basis. And they decided this was the best way to get the money from revenue sharing into the pockets of the athletes. For what it's worth, I think it's pretty forward-thinking kind of way to go about things. The deal is 5 years, $100 million. So schools, you should see, but the Big 12 deal, I should say, is 5 years, $100 million. So that's roughly 20 per year in average annual value. At 16 schools in the conference, you're looking at just over $1 million per school. This happened fast in terms of the way that each school got this. The conference worked on its own, I guess, to get this for the schools. And that implies that Brett Yormark was probably already working behind the scenes to get this thing done before the House settlement was reached. However, with that being reached, he wanted to make sure he got this set up to get it ready for when the revenue share hits very, very quickly. Look, you're going to see Venmo involved in buying tickets, concessions, merch at stadiums, whatever. There's even some stories saying that you'll be able to get to tuition at these different schools within the Big 10 and Big 12 through PayPal. You'll see PayPal marketing at Big 12 championship events. The goal is for a simple, easy, seamless way to pay the athletes their portion of the House settlement revenue sharing while benefiting the conference, right? And so money to the schools to help them pay the athletes. I think this is a win-win-win-win-win all the way around. What I really liked about this deal, though, if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of Brett Yormark. He is very forward-thinking. He's very frontward-facing. And I love, as I guess 2 years in almost, Big 12 guy now, I love that he doesn't treat the Big 12 like anything other than top tier. He doesn't look at it as competing with the SEC or the Big 10. He's like, we're trying to be the best the Big 12 can be. And that can be as big as these other conferences. There's no qualms about that to him. So when the media tour launched, this innovative new partnership between PayPal, Venmo, and Big 12, Big 10, Brett Yormark is the one touring with PayPal CEO Alex Chris, not the Big Ten's commissioner Tony Petitti. And I feel like that shows that the Big 12, I'm not going to say has surpassed the Big 10. We look at the TV deals and dollar amounts, anything like that. it certainly feels like you're closer to equal footing than had they all been on stage, or had it been this appearance is Petiti, this one is Brett Yormark. When they go to ESPN, when they went to CBS, when they went to Fox Sports, it was always Brett Yormark. It was always CEO of PayPal Asks Chris. And that implies to me that Yormark is very much at the forefront of this deal. And I would say that he spoke passionately and adamantly about getting this set up before waiting on the rest of the NCAA, right? The question was posed to him across multiple outlets. Why didn't you wait for the NCAA to see if there was anything they wanted to do that was uniform, that could go across all conferences or whatever? And he said, we've waited on them for too many other things. To some effect, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, like, we can't keep waiting on the NCAA to do this. This needs to happen now. We're going to be paying these athletes now. We need something seamless, quick, and useful now. Wanted the deal done. So, of course, in like the most Brett Yormark way, the Big 12, and they added the Big 10 and got PayPal involved, and they got the deal done. Athletes will be getting paid through Venmo and PayPal very, very soon. Also, you can find me, Park Ranger, with Paints with 512 on, I think, actually both Venmo and PayPal if you're feeling generous. I'm not really an athlete anymore. I talk about them with my computer at night. But if you want to like send some money, PayPal and Venmo, and support the cause there. That's great. But on a more serious note, I will say, PayPal, Venmo, college students don't carry cash anymore. The Venmo and PayPal have these different debit cards, and it looks like they're going to be putting school logos on them as well, kind of handing those out if you need it. I, I think paying for merch and concessions like that at a Houston game will almost be easier than trying to fumble and find cash or whatever. And maybe if you don't have a Venmo account, you need to get on it. I feel like this is Houston and the Big 12 being at the forefront of things instead of waiting to see what happens. And I love that. I really, really think that that's just another moment that is indicative of what Yormark and the Big 12 are doing. And full disclosure, I know the Big 10 is involved in this. I think it's important that Yormark, as I said a second ago, is the face of this. And he's representing the Big 12, which is constant, I guess, really third fiddle. I was about to say second fiddle to P2, but really that makes it third fiddle. And Yormark's the one talking to ESPN about, hey, we're paying our athletes and this is how. This is the future. That is uncomfortable. I know that change can be a lot for some people, and back in the good old days, that's the way things were. But this is the way college sports are going, and Yormark has the Big 12 and effectively Houston as well. Therefore, we're at the front of it. I'm sure Big 12 Media Days, which Locked on Cougs will be at, and was it 2 weeks? And I'm sure that Yormark will be asked questions about this. He will confront it. He'll talk about the future of the Big 12 being in the literal phones of the athletes, right? I look forward to seeing him continue to push the same strength and resolve. I think it's pretty important and impressive. Now, I will say, I want to talk about something else that's important and impressive, and that is signing five-star quarterbacks. The third segment thought experiment looks to continue the comparison here of a pair of Cougars, different colored jerseys. Before we get to that, 1 second,